Here's how to make a felt poppy brooch. Start with 2 strips of black felt, 24 centimetres by 2 centimetres, and then with a pair of sharp scissors you're going to cut these strips of felt into a fringe. Each snip should be 3 to 4 millimetres apart. Just be sure not to cut all the way through to the edge. You're going to repeat that for both of the strips of felt. Then you'll need a small wool felted ball. You can make your own or you can buy them ready-made, and a hot glue gun. And you're going to glue the felt strips around the black ball, and this creates the centre of the poppy. Sorry, some of this is a bit off camera. Just apply the hot glue, watch your fingers, and just apply a few centimetres at a time and wrap it around. Then you're going to need some red felt for your petals. You're going to cut 3 small petals and 3 large. The small petals begin as rectangles and they are 4 centimetres by 6 centimetres each. And then your larger petals start out as rectangles of 6 centimetres by 8 centimetres, and you're going to need 6 of those. Then you're going to need a square of green felt that's 5 centimetres by 5 centimetres, and you're going to turn each of your petal pieces into a petal shape by folding in half, cutting about midway along the bottom edge out to the folded edge, and then around the top in a curve, so that when you open out the shape you've got a heart shape with a flat base. And you're going to do the same for all 6 of the large and 3 of the small petals. So cutting from about midway along the bottom of the folded edge around to the top, and then dipping slightly down at the top to create this heart shape. Give each of the petals a really good twist and a stretch. This helps to add some texture, makes the poppy look a bit more realistic. The felt's very strong, so you won't tear it. And repeat this for all 9 of the petals. Now we're going to add some colour with some pastels. So the pastels I'm using are chalk pastels. You could also use eyeshadow if you've got some highly pigmented eyeshadow, but these chalk pastels are really good, and the brand that I'm using is Pan Pastel, but there's also there's lots of other brands available. I quite like the Inscribe brand as well. And you're going to apply the colour over about half of each petal from the flat edge upwards. Now you're going to start by gluing the 3 small petals, so apply the glue to the coloured side of the petal and stick the petal to the base of the centre. Put the first 3 small petals on evenly spaced, and then your larger petals are going to go in the spaces in between. So you need a fair amount of glue. Watch your fingers, and again, apologies for slipping out of sight on the camera for this step. So there's 3 of your larger petals on, and then your remaining 3 are going to fill the spaces in between. Now you're going to create the calyx. So the calyx is the piece of the flower that sits at the back of the poppy. So you're going to cut each of the 4 corners off this square to create something that looks roughly like a circle. It doesn't need to be exact. And then you're going to fold the circle in half and use your small scissors to snip about 1 centimetre into each of the folded edges. And then another 2 cuts evenly spaced. So that when you open up the circle, you've got 6 sections. Now each of these sections you are going to make a point, so you're going to end up with a 6-pointed star, and you do that by placing your scissors in the middle of a section and cutting up towards the middle so that you're cutting out a triangle of felt. And you're going to repeat that all of the way around and then flip the piece over and repeat so that you're cutting another little triangle to create a point. So you should end up with 6 points. Now we're going to make the leaf. So again, you're going to fold and cut from the bottom round to the open edges, right up to the top. And then I'm using my small scissors to create a wavy edge. Now we're going to cut the leaf in half just to create a more realistic looking leaf with a vein down the middle. So just chop it in half. Apply glue down one edge and stick the other half of the leaf directly on top. And the last thing to do is to attach the calyx to the back with a blob of glue. You don't need to stick down the 6 points of the calyx, just put the glue in the middle. And then your brooch back, you can either stitch your brooch back on, or you can do the easy or lazy method and apply it with a blob of glue, which is what I've done. And then your leaf, you can glue your leaf on in between the petals